Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first proper stream of the season. I'm a little bit out of practice. I'm a little bit rushed. I just saw that FPL had launched. I had the stream set up as private earlier this morning. I've just got home from the gym. I've not even showered yet, if I'm completely honest. We'll worry about that afterwards. We've only had a few price reveals. We've had 4 price reveals, 6 actually, plus Salah and Haaland. So I'm basically going to react to some of the prices. I don't know how much of a team build I will do because I haven't really thought about it too much. We'll do that as a separate video. But yeah, welcome back. This goddamn new layout slowed me down. Yeah, trying to get in was really annoying. Basically, I did a Control F to find the auto pick button. So that's what I've done. But yeah, there is a new look screen, basically, a new look layout. The purple, which Premier League has been using for a while, is back, which is cool. Looks good. And obviously the players look a little bit different. Jarrod Bowen is a forward, by the way. How much is he? 8 million. Oh, I quite like that. 8 million. I got the next 3 fixtures. Triple captain and bench boost you can play straight away, of course. You wouldn't be. There's no point playing your free hit and wildcard. Assistant manager is gone. Why is my fan league Villa? Because I just tried to get in as soon as possible. By the way, if you want to check your FPL ID, click transfer history, and then in the URL at the top, whatever number that is, it will say entry / your number. That's your FPL ID. So mine is 44. I thought mine was 314. That's because I clicked overall in the league and it said 314, but that's not the correct one. Okay, let me have a look at some of the prices. So the most expensive defender is 6 million. That can't be correct, surely. Let's order it by price. 6 million is the most expensive defender. I'm a little bit surprised about that. Cucurella is 6 million. I expected him to be. Gabriel and Saliba the same. So Frimpong, Kirkes, basically if you're a Liverpool defender, you are 6 million. So Robertson, Van Dijk, Kirkes, Frimpong. I guess Bradley's a little bit cheaper because they're not expect. Oh, Konate's 5.5. Where is Bradley? Presumably they're not expecting him to play very much. Let's click on this. Have a look. Bradley's 5 million. I'm presumably Frimpong will be first choice, but I don't know if it's a 100% certainty. Konza is 4.5 again. He'll almost certainly be in my team, I would say, at 4.5. Robertson at 6 million is probably a bit overpriced, I agree. Like, I think Kirkes is more likely to play more minutes than Robertson than Frimpong is to play ahead of Bradley. But I could be wrong about that. I don't even know where to start. The problem with doing these live streams as soon as the game is launched, I've got nothing planned whatsoever about what to talk about. I just click go live and then we kind of go through it. So Cole Palmer's... Okay, hang on. Let me just... Why is it showing me midfielders only when I've got it selected on all players? So all players, but it's only showing me midfielders. Bruno Fernandes is 9 million. How has he got a price rise? How's Bruno Fernandes got a price rise from last year? Everyone hates him as a pick. He must have just got that much on the... They must be expecting him to get so many blocks, tackles, interceptions, etc. Oh, if your screen is white instead of purple, that's probably because I've got dark mode selected. Yeah, defensive contributions, but still 9 million. Actually, let me see how much Cunha and Mbeumo are. Oh, well, Mbeumo is going to be priced, obviously, at Brentford. So Cunha is 8 million. Yeah, fair enough, I guess. I feel it's expensive for Man United players, honestly. Like, they were so bad. I don't think Man United are going to do that much better. Maybe a little bit. So Mbeumo is also 8 million. So 8 million for Mbeumo and Cunha. 9 million for Fernandes. Surely he's not that good with defensive contributions. Surely. I don't see me going for Bruno. I really don't. But we'll see. I did see a lot of people saying that he's almost at the 12 defensive contributions per game, which is kind of mad. Don't make me pay 9 million for Bruno Fernandes. Go team by team. I mean, Son at 8.5 million. He's not going to play that often, I don't think. That's a bit rubbish, I think. Marmouche 8.5 as well. Odegaard 8. Luis Diaz is 8. Foden's still 8. Eze 7.5, I think, is good. Although if he goes to Arsenal, he won't be worth that much. Rodgers, by the way, is 7. There's only 1, 2, 3 forwards more than 8 million. How much did Chris Wood go up to? 7.5. I might be buying him. You never know. Evan Nielsen 7. He'll be popular, I think. Danny Welbeck. I mean, I don't know who else is going to play up front for Brighton right now. He's only... Oh, you can't see that properly. Oh, I don't know if I like this new layout. I'm going to have a think about that, how to lay it out properly on the streams. Odegaard, 8 million, not bad. Meh, I don't think it's that interesting. It's not realistic. The most expensive defender is at 6 only. Yeah, I got to be honest. When we saw Salah, Haaland and Isak's price, I thought they were probably going to go quite high. But actually, they don't seem to have done that all that much. How much is... I know I'm a little bit all over the place here. How much is Njai at Everton? He's 6.5 million. So I think he's their first choice penalty taker, right? And he's a midfielder, not a forward now. That doesn't show up properly. You can't see who I'm talking about. I don't know if there's a way around that, to be honest, with the current layout. Bit annoying, to be honest. Why is ID important? It's not important, but like when you're like a heavily engaged FPL manager, why not try and go for a low ID? It's something that everyone's done for a long time, so you just keep doing it, right? Okay, how much is Strand Larson? Let's have a look. Strand Larson is 6.5 as well. He's going to be pretty popular eventually, I think. Yeah, I quite like Welbeck at 6.5. Have they removed rank history? My assumption is no, but I couldn't find it earlier either. I don't know where it is. Someone probably knows. Should I generate my badge? I'm not gonna worry about that anytime soon. When did the game drop? 12:30. Around then anyway. 12:31, something like that. Okay, we go team by price for Solanke and Kudus. Okay, let's have a quick look here. How to get dark mode, I'm not sure. How to find your ID, click transfer history at the bottom, and then it's the number in the URL, basically. Okay, so Spurs, Solanke is obviously a forward, 7.5, decent price. Obviously, Spurs got pretty good fixtures to start the season, or at least game week 1 they got pretty good fixture. Burnley at home. City away is not great in 2, but 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, they're all okay. I didn't get 1, no. The website UI/UX is so bad. Yeah, I also don't get that. You click on a player and the data's all on the right side. Is it just because of the way I've got it set up on stream? Because I've basically got the website in half of my screen. History on mobile phone is on seasons. You can see your ranking. I don't see a tab for seasons anywhere. Obviously, this is just the home screen. I don't see... I see cups, leagues, transfers, transfer history. I don't see anything about seasons. People hating the layout of the website. We'll see. We'll see how... You might get used to it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, will we go team by team? Is that boring? Okay, let's just go team by team. So David Raya is 5.5. Presumably goalkeeper's 5.5 max. I think that's the way it should be. Otherwise, you're just never going to go 6 million. I don't think. Kepa only 4.5. I don't really understand why they do that. Like, Kepa is Arsenal's second choice goalkeeper. If Raya gets injured, then Kepa's going to go in. You could argue that, Arsenal defence would be slightly worse if Kepa was in there, but not £1 million worse. So I don't really understand why they do that. Basically, if Raya gets injured, everyone's going to go and buy Kepa. That's how it is. So I don't see why they make him only 4.5, but it is what it is. Saliba Gabriel 6 million. I think that's good because they were becoming a little bit too obvious a lot of the time to buy, especially Gabriel with his goal threat. Most of the other defenders are 5.5 that you're probably going to pick. So Lewis Skelly, Ben White, Timber and Lewis Skelly mainly. Yeah, Trafford for 5 million. I'm not sure how much I like that because at 5 million, you're never going to buy him for Burnley, are you? We'll see. Saka, let me just order this by price instead of points. I think that's a little bit more interesting right now. Saka's 10 million, so his price hasn't changed from last year. Saka's 10 and Palmer's 10.5. That was the same last year. I can see me starting with Palmer. Madueke's 7. I mean, he's not going to be a regular start. I think Madueke's a little bit better than most people are giving him credit for, but he's not going to be an FPL pick straight away. Trossard 7 million, so is Martinelli. Rice 6.4. Oh, actually, okay, we'll go for all the teams. I want to see how much some of the defensive midfielders are. But Rice at 6.5 will be fairly popular. Havertz is 7.5. Does anybody else think that Havertz might start game week 1, even if they sign Gyökeres or Gyökeres, I think it is. I've not made a proper squad yet, no. We're just going through prices right now. The game's only just live. I haven't really massively thought about my strategy or anything like that, but we can start building it out soon, for sure. I think Havertz is going to start game week 1, even if they sign Gyökeres. Have you got any news about the Android app bug? I got no news, to be honest. I didn't even know there was a bug. Sorry. Martinez is 5 million. There is lots of rumours going around that they might sell him, but presumably they'll buy someone new and that player will also come in at 5 million. Every single Aston Villa defender is 4.5. I think that's a little bit strange. I think Villa defensive numbers were okay last year. I need to double check that. But Cons are 4.5. I mean, Villa's fixtures are pretty good. Newcastle at home, Brentford away, Palace at home, Everton away, Sunderland away, Fulham at home, Burnley at home. I think Cons is going to be in a lot of teams. Like, it's not an interesting pick. I get that, but 4.5 just seems too cheap. I suspect that eventually this season Maatsen will become first choice for Villa, but I don't know if that's a guarantee to start the season if Luca Dean's still at the club. So, yeah, 4.5. I suspect I'll have an Aston Villa defender. Rodgers, rightly so, is up to 7 million. Tielemans at 6 million could be interesting if he ends up playing number 10, but presumably there's chance he just continues to play a bit deeper, so I'm not sure about him. Marlon at 5.5, could he get more minutes this year? Potentially. They conceded loads of goals, but they might be good this year. I just think for 4.5 with their fixtures, he's probably going to be quite popular. Watkins 9. Seems fair. Let's go to Bournemouth. So Bournemouth's goalkeeper's 4.5 essentially. Zabani's 5. I guess a bit of goal threat. Everyone else is 4.5. Their defense has been quite heavily decimated though so far, right? Howson's gone. Kirkes is gone as well. Clive and Semenyo up to 7 million, which makes sense because they're both pretty much nailed, especially Semenyo and Kluivert on penalties. So I quite like both of those prices. I got to be honest, right now I haven't got all the fixtures like off the top of my head. So I can't remember who's got good fixture runs, but obviously I'll figure that out as I'm making videos. Liverpool away to start the season is probably going to put a few people off, but the fixtures after that for Bournemouth are not bad. I wouldn't be complete, like, again, the game's been out 20 minutes. I've not thought about what my squad is. I've not thought about, what my chip strategy is and stuff like that yet. I wouldn't be completely shocked if I start with a Bournemouth attacker, even though they've got Liverpool away. Because I think their underlying numbers are generally pretty good, and the fixtures after Liverpool are decent. Like Evan Nielsen at 7 could be an option. I don't mind Bournemouth attackers at all at that price. Let's go to Brentford. Yeah, Kelleher at 4.5 is going to be super popular. Like, he's not a worse keeper than Flecken. I'm sure some people would argue that you've already locked in your squad. Nice. I'm sure a lot of people would argue that he's probably slightly better. The fixtures to start the season, at least in the very short term, are not bad. They do play, though. In fact, actually, the fixtures are not very good longer term. Now, it might be that you go super aggressive with wildcard because we've got a free hit to play. We've got 5 transfers for AFCON and stuff like that. But they do play Chelsea. Man United probably shouldn't be in this conversation. But Chelsea, Man United, Man City and Liverpool in the first 9 game weeks is not great. But yeah, he will just be popular. Lewis Potter's 5 million. That could be a bargain if he goes back to playing in a more attacking role. Because they've priced him as a defender because of where he played last year. But if he goes into that front 3... which I don't know how likely that is, but if he does, 5 million could be really interesting, I think. Henry as well. If Henry can get fit, we've seen him be extremely attacking before. 4.5 is quite nice. Mbeumo's been priced because he's going to move to Man United. That looks almost certain. Damsgaard at 6, not bad. Sharda at 7 is okay as well. And then Viss is 7.5. It'd be interesting to see where he he ends up. Maybe he goes to Newcastle. Who knows? Maybe just if they sell in Burma, I suspect that Vissel will stay. But a lot of inflation, no, not really. Haaland's cheaper than he was last year. Salah's a bit more expensive. Palmer's the same. Saka's the same. Some defenders have rightly gone up in price, but no one's more than 6 million, so you don't have a Trent to go and play for. My initial instinct, bearing in mind we're only on Brighton, is the prices are probably fine, and it's not going to be an absolute, pain to build a team. Oh, now this is an interesting. Now, one thing with defenders is you do get defensive contributions now. So presumably they've gone back and figured out last year if defensive contributions were in, how many points would players have scored. And that's why some defenders are like 5.5 who wouldn't have been last year. But this guy, I don't know how to say his name properly, De Kuiper from Brighton, 4.5 million. If he becomes first choice or if Estepinian leaves, he is so attacking. I've looked up his attacking numbers. Also, he's got a really good penalty record. I don't expect him to take penalties. I think it'll be Welbeck. But he's very attacking. 4.5 million could be decent. Brighton's fixtures, though, so-so. Fulham at home, Everton away, City at home, Bournemouth away. Probably not great. Is he Barco all over again? Possibly. Like, if Estepinian stays, there's no way I will risk it. I don't think he's in the same ballpark as Barco, but I could be wrong on that. Mitoma 6.5, and then everyone else is less than that for Brighton. The problem with Brighton players is they've got so many. They've just got so many attacking options. It's hard to get that nailed starter. But I do like Welbeck at 6.5. If you look at the other forwards they've got, right, Ferguson is leaving, right? He's going to Roma, I think it is. Then they've got Simas and Kostulas, and I've probably pronounced both of those names wrong. Like both of them, I think they're like 17 and 18 or 18 and 19. Now they could be amazing, but it seems very unlikely they're going to start the season. And so Welbeck at 6.5, I think you can probably say he's nailed. Decent enough goal threat. Fixtures are okay, and he's on penalties. So I quite like him. Let's just keep going. So Burnley up next. Trafford, like people have already said, priced at 5 million. That is because people are expecting him to leave. I don't know. I don't know which players are nailed. By the way, why is Kyle Walker 4.5? So last year, I think they basically priced all newly promoted defenders at 4, unless they were like super attacking, like Leif Davis. Kyle Walker's not attacking. Not really. He got 5 assists in 2023-24, but outside of that, like 0, 0, 2, 1, 4. Okay, fair enough. Like Kyle Walker has not been an attacking fullback for a long time. Like he should be 4 million as well. He's just being priced at 4.5 because he's Kyle Walker. He should be 4 like the rest. Whether or not Connor Roberts is super attacking, I don't know, to be honest. I'd have to look that up. And then all their midfielders are 5.5 or below, and same for their attackers. Leeds are going to probably be a bit more interesting than Burnley, I think. Because he's at a terrible... Yeah, I'm saying 4.5 is too expensive, by the way. I'm not saying he should be more expensive. I'm saying he should be 4 million. Chelsea goalkeepers, Sanchez 5 million. Could be interesting. I mean, Chelsea's fixtures to start the season are pretty good. They're one of the strongest teams in the league. Cucurella is 6 million. Unless you want to pay like 5 million for Colwill, Sanchez at 5 could be an option. I know a lot of people are going to like Kelleher at 4.5. But Sanchez at 5, wouldn't rule it out. Cucurella, I think, had to be 6 million. Like, he's pretty much nailed for Chelsea unless they sign a new left back. And he got 5 goals last year. You just couldn't price him less. So I think that's the price he had to be. Reece James 5.5. I'm just never going to trust his minutes, I don't think, ever again. And then the main other defenders, Chalobah, Colwill, Gusto, all 5 million. Could be good options at some point. Colwill at 5, wouldn't completely rule that out. Palmer, I was pretty clear at the end of last season that Palmer should not get a price reduction, and he hasn't. I actually thought it was more likely that it would go up than go down. 10.5 is probably fine. Neto 7. I think Neto is going to be quite popular. I don't know if I'm that interested in him. maybe he's going to have a big improvement. We're talking about a player with 4 goals last year in 2,200 minutes, 2 goals the year before in 1,500 minutes. Like 5 goals is his maximum in the Premier League so far. I just don't think he's as exciting. Like, of course, he can get assists as well. I'm not. I think someone like Semenyo at 7 is better than Neto at 7. And I don't even think Neto's necessarily 100% nailed on either. Or at least there is going to be some early subs because of, all the other attackers that Chelsea have got. Like, there's nothing to say that João Pedro couldn't play off the. I'm not saying like an out and out left winger, but he couldn't. Like in one game, he could play off the left or off the right or whatever, and then someone else just plays up front. Nkunku's a steal at 6 million. I'm not going anywhere near Nkunku unless he moves to a different Premier League club. He absolutely is now. I don't know if his minutes, like he's not a 90-minute player week in, week out. I think, I'm going to say it now, I think Neto's going to be a trap. There you go. I'm just going to put it out there right now. I might end up with him because I do like a good trap in FPL. But I think Pedro Neto is going to be a trap. I think there'll be better players for the same price. That's my go-to. Caicedo 5.5. I mean, would have scored about 144 points last year. It's probably okay. Yeah, they've signed Gittins. They'll probably sign another player as well. João Pedro 7.5 is fine. I don't know if João Pedro is a trap, but given they've got so many other forwards, I don't know if he's... I don't know. He's not going to be a 90-minute man every single week, is he? I'm wary of Chelsea attackers outside of Palmer, if I'm honest, for minutes. João Pedro 7.5, Delap and Jackson both 6.5. If Jackson moves, which I don't think he will, but if he does, could be an option. So some people are mentioning other players for different prices. I'm basically going through team by team to just discuss rather than because otherwise I'll just be all over the place. I'll be going back and forth and I'll miss a player. So we're just going to go through team by team if that's cool with you. You don't like this new interface. I haven't played around with it enough to know whether I like it or not, to be honest. It maybe doesn't look great right now, but perhaps that will change. Henderson 5 million, fair enough. Palace defense is okay. Munoz at 5.5, very interested in him. Really interested in him. Like it does feel like it's going to be the year of the centre back because of defensive contributions, but let's not completely ignore attacking returns. And Munoz got 4 goals, 6 assists last year, and the opening fixtures for Palace are okay. And he's cheaper than like Gabriel, Cucurella, etc. So I'm super interested in him. Lacroix, Mitchell, 5 million. Gay 4.5, bit weird. Maybe Lacroix is just much better for defensive contributions than Gay, but 4.5, like this is a guy that could move to Liverpool, which would be strange. We'll see. Sarr at 6.5. Another player I'd be really interested in. I think a lot of people will be like, again, I haven't put much thought into this, but I'm already thinking Sarr at 6.5 is better than Neto at 7 million. People are going to think I've got this. I can guarantee you by the end of pre-season, which is only 25 days now, people are going to think I've got this. I've got this grudge against Pedro Neto, which I definitely don't. But Ismail Sarr could be interesting. 6.5. Why is he a trap though? His minutes are pretty good. His underlying numbers are decent. 8 goals, 7 assists last year for 6.5 million. Feels okay. Eze 7.5. They had to take into account penalties, I think, with him. And then Mateta's also 7.5. Don't mind that. Interesting though, what if Mateta goes? They'd probably buy someone, but if they don't, and Nketiah at 5.5, he would then become an absolute bargain. Yes, don't worry. I've seen everyone mention Kudus. I'm just going through bit by bit. They're expecting Gay to go to Liverpool. That makes no sense. If they're expecting Gay to go to Liverpool, they should price him more, not less. Imagine getting a Liverpool defender for 4.5. That would make no sense. So Pickford's 5.5 for Everton. Ooh. And then Branthwaite and Tarkowski 5.5. So this is where it's going to get interesting, right? Mikalenko is cheaper, but he's not very good for attacking returns. 1 goal, 3 assists last year. 2 goals, 1 assist the year before. So if you want an Everton defender, you probably pay the extra. They have got good fixtures, and we know how good Tarkowski was for those DEFCONs. I'm gonna have to say defensive contributions. I might type DEFCON on Twitter, but I can't say it out loud. It just sounds stupid. I mean, maybe Tarkowski for 5.5 is okay, but I'm just look. It's easy to say just spend an extra 0.5, but you're going to go and get like Gabriel for 4.5 million. I don't know. It's going to take some adjusting to how the new rules work, because it's not just about goals and assists anymore. And what did they say? Did they say Tarkowski would have got like an extra 48 points or something like that? I think you can say DEFCON on Twitter. Can you see your rank history? I can't find rank history on the website. Some people saying it works on the app, I think, basically. Anyway, let's keep going. Enjoy 6.5 again. I don't mind that. I'm going to keep comparing everyone to Pedro Neto, but I mean, Enjoy's underlying stats are not great, if I'm honest, but he is on penalties. He's first choice, right? It feels impossible to build a decent team. Just relax. You'll be fine. You just probably can't have Haaland and Salah. Like, I'm already putting my team together in my head. It's got Salah. I don't know who else. Evan Nilsson, maybe. Konza, probably, at 4.5. Why did they remove my previous league? Just relax. Maybe it's just they haven't set everything up yet. Maybe that's coming. Maybe there were some issues. Beto 5.5. Damn. That feels cheap to me. So this new guy, I don't know how to say his name. We'll just call him Barry because that's his surname, and that seems how wrong can I go with Barry? Yeah, is Beto ahead of Njai for penalties? I don't know if that's true. I think Njai's ahead. No. Barry probably will end up being first choice, but I don't know if he's going to be first choice straight away. Like Beto was good last year. He scored 8 goals in 1,500 minutes. No, I don't think he's called Barry, to be honest. Yeah, I think Njai's ahead of Beto on penalties, but I think Beto's pretty good. 5.5 could be a decent option. It's just whether Barry is going to get ahead of him. Yeah, but okay, if Njai's on penalties, that's why he's 6.5, right? Like 5.5, if Barry ain't starting, well, that's his surname. What do you want me to call him? Or do you pronounce it a different way? They've already signed a striker, Everton. I don't hate the Beto pick. Maybe it's a trap, but don't mind it at all. Okay, Fulham. Leno in goal, 5 million. Robinson only 5. Everyone else 4.5 or below. Not bad. Brighton away, Man United at home, Chelsea away. First 3 games after that gets a little bit better. I mean, Robinson did get a lot of assists last year, but again, presumably they're a bit cheaper because defensive contributions just aren't there. Tiano Barry. Okay, let's say Barry does start. 6 million's okay. I don't mind that for an Everton forward. 5.5 or 6 million. Just, I guess they're going to share minutes a little bit. Iwobi 6.5. Presumably, Iwobi is another player that does well on defensive contributions. Everton aren't scoring in their first 3 games. They got Leeds. So I don't know that much about Barry, but his underlying numbers from previous club looks good. Wow, Iwobi got 9 goals, 6 assists last year. Yeah, but he massively overperformed. I think Iwobi 6.5. I'm not that interested. Muniz at 5.5. I mean, he could move. Imagine if he goes somewhere else. I've got to stop clicking into players because it looks rubbish. Yeah, Muniz. Can I make this bigger? Oh, no. Jesus, this website. Yeah, Raul Jimenez 6.5 first choice and on penalties. Not bad. But I quite like Muniz at 5.5. Yeah, linked to Leeds. I've seen that. Let's look at Leeds players. Melier, I mean, I'm not expecting a huge amount of clean sheets. They're all 4.5 or below. Midfielders 5.5 or below. Dan James 4.5 million. Can't see me going there. Pirot's only 5.5. I asked a question in a Discord yesterday about Pigott if he's nailed, but everyone seems to think Leeds are going to buy another forward. and whoever they buy will probably be the penalty taker. So it'd be interesting to see who comes in. Yeah, a lot of people saying Strauch takes penalties, but I'm not. If there's any other Leeds fans in here, I've kind of been told that he's not necessarily nailed, and or they're going to buy another forward, and that forward will probably just take the penalties. So if Perot is 5 point, am I pronouncing that right, by the way? If he's 5.5, if the new guy comes in at 5.5, that could be decent. Maybe. Muniz or Beto? Probably Beto to start the season, right? Reece Nelson, 5 million, linked to Fulham. Leeds fan, avoid Peru. Tried to make a good bench boost team for game week 1, but 100 million transfer value is fine, making it very difficult. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Peru. Okay, we'll figure it out later. Hopefully they replace him, so I don't have to keep talking about him. Again, they've done the same thing as they did with Arsenal, with Liverpool. Alisson is 5.5, and Mamadashvili, I think I've got that just about right, is 4.5. Again, doesn't really make too much sense to me. Alisson gets injured, everyone wants to buy Mamadashvili. Don't get it. Frimpong Kirkett, we already did Liverpool defenders. Honestly, quite like Van Dijk. I need to see what his Mamadashvili. What did I say? I said Mama, did I? Apologies. Anyway, Alisson's goalkeeper. Yeah, I need to see what Van Dijk's defensive contributions are, but my thinking probably, like, I know I'm going to say this and everyone else is going to disagree, but is Kirkez going to be 100% nailed? Presumably he's going to play the majority of games, but is there a chance if Robertson stays that he plays the odd game? I said this in a video yesterday, I think it was, like Burnley away or Everton at home. Like, would it be completely shocking if Robertson started one of those games? Like, would it be a massive shock? I just don't know if it is. Like, I'm pretty sure that Bournemouth at home, Kirkez will start game week 1. Newcastle away, probably start again. But I don't like... It's really boring, but Van Dijk for the same price is 100% nailed on. Kirkez, the most you could say, is 99. You cannot be sure that Kirkez is going to start 100% of games. And then it's a similar conversation with Frimpong and Bradley on the other side. It could be Robertson, centre-back, depends on Konate leaving too. If Konate leaves, Liverpool are going to buy a centre-back. I don't think there's any problem about that. For that reason, Van Dijk should be 6.5. Yeah. I don't see Robertson being a centre-back in many games. Personally, yeah, again, I'm not saying that Robertson's going to start the season. In fact, I've literally said the opposite. I'm just saying, back when Trent was an option, you bought him because you knew he was going to start every game. Am I that confident about Kirkez? I don't know if I am. And when he's the same price as Van Dijk, I just think if I did want a Liverpool defender, would I just get Van Dijk? Van Dijk's in the top 10 for defensive contributions for defenders. Boom. That's nice. I definitely need to look at all that. Conor Bradley underpriced if Frimpong gets injured. Otherwise, maybe not. I mean, Frimpong might end up being the go-to guy because he's so attacking and Bradley can't stay fit. He does struggle with injuries a little bit, or has done. That doesn't mean he always will. But if he picks up an injury in pre-season, Frimpong will become very popular. The fixtures aren't necessarily great for Liverpool first 3, but they're the strongest team in the league, right? Maybe not the best defence. I'd probably still give that to Arsenal, but it's pretty close. Salah 14.5. I can tell FPL is back because I was on my walk this morning and I spent probably about a fifth or a quarter of it going back and forth in my head about whether or not Wirtz is as underpriced as everyone's saying he is. I don't think Wirtz is a no-brainer. Let me just say that. I think when his price came out yesterday at 8.5, most people were acting as though he had to be in your squad and there's no point even thinking about it. I don't know if he's that good of a pick, but I think he could be. And I think it's more likely that he's underpriced than that he's overpriced, for sure. Like, if you look at his... Like, okay, let me just say this about Wirtz, right? So last year in the league, it was 10 goals, 12 assists. Okay, so let's say that Wirtz starts every single game this season. Just bear with me. I know you all think that Wirtz is an absolute no-brainer, but let me just bear with me, right? Let's say he starts all 38 games, which he won't, but let's say he does. That's 76 points. He scored 10 goals last year. So 76, 10 goals, 5 points is 50, right? So 76 plus 50 is 126. 126, remember that. And then 12 assists, 3 apiece is 36. So plus 126 is 162. So if he starts all 38 games and gets 10 goals, 12 assists again, that's 162 points. Liverpool will probably get, let's just say 15 clean sheets. So we'll add another 15 points on because he's starting every game. That's 177. There will obviously be some bonus points going around. Is it going to be more than 23? I don't know. Plus there's going to be some yellow cards, etc. He's maybe like a 200-point player, maybe a little bit more. Like 200 points, which is pretty good, of course. Your logic is 100% flawed. What? Well, tell me why. Don't just say it's flawed. Tell me why it's flawed. I'm just basing it off last season, right? So he's maybe like a 200-point player, which is pretty good. Other players will hit 200 points for a little bit less, right? He's not on penalties, exactly. Yeah. No one's denying that Wirtz is a great player, but is he 200 points is worth 8.5? Yes, of course it is, but is it an absolute no-brainer? And also, that's bearing in mind he starts all 38 games, which he might not. I think I will probably start with him, but I'm not convinced as everyone else that like you just put him in and you forget about it. Did he only start? Oh, geez, he only started 25 games last season. That's a fair point. I completely missed that. He's not going to get 10 goals, 12 assists in the Premier League. Yeah, he might get less. He might get less. You can't assume he will score the same in a different team in a different league, hence flawed. Also, you don't pick player for 38 games. No, of course. No, I get that. And I fully agree with that, right? That's why I very rarely use total points to make a point, even though I know I'm doing that right now. What I'm saying is people acting like he's basically like another Salah or a Haaland. He's not, right? But fair enough. I did miss the 25 starts last year, so I'll take it all back and I'll just put Wirtz in my team and shut up. Right, let's go to the next one. Luis Diaz, 8 million. He's probably going to leave. Gakpo, 7.5 is fine, but will the minutes be there? I'm not sure. What will they price Ekitike at? Not sure. How many goals and assists did Gakpo get? 10 and 5. 10 goals, 5 assists. Yeah, do you know what? My argument is a little bit flawed when I didn't realise he'd only started 25 games. No one's underrating Wirtz, right? We all know he's a great player, but we honestly do know he's a great player. It's just whether he's an absolute no-brainer. That's what I'm like. I don't think he. Basically, when I go and build my team later, I don't think it's a case that I put Wirtz in and I just choose 14 other players. I don't think he's like that good necessarily, but there's every chance I will still start with him. I guess Szoboszlai's playing tennis. I mean, I'd be very surprised if Wirtz is not a permanent starter. His minutes won't be as good as Salah, though, in my opinion. I don't think anyone's really are. Yeah, we'll see. Wirtz could become... Yeah, that's what... I do think Wirtz is more likely to be underpriced than overpriced. That's for sure. I mean, I might pick... I'd love to pick Fernandes over Wirtz, but I'm not sure I can do it to myself. 9 million, like... 9 million. Darwin Nunez 6.5. Ekitike is now in, right? So I mean, if Darwin Nunez starts regularly, 6.5 could be a bargain, but I ain't going there straight away. No chance. Okay, Man City, Ain't Nuri 6 million. Vardy. I mean, you just pick Vardy, right? Is there any reason to debate that? I think if Ain't Nuri and Vardy had the same minutes, then I'd go Ain't Nuri because he would be playing left back and Vardy would be left centre back. And Ain't Nuri's pretty damn attacking, but I think you just go Vardy, right? How long has the game been live? It's been live about 50 minutes. By the way, William Curtis, new member, thank you very much. I'm so out of touch with streaming that because I haven't done it for so long, I forget that I can look at super chats and stuff. Feel Wirtz may chip in more with pre-assist, maybe a valuable player, but maybe not haul as much as a Liverpool fan. Hope I'm wrong and he bags 500 assists. Yeah, like I think when we're looking at FPL players, we obviously focus on goals and assists quite a lot. Maybe this year we focus on defensive contributions quite a lot as well. Like Wirtz is not, it's not just 100 million just for goals and assists, right? Like you can have a massive contribution to a team without just doing that. And he's obviously going to get loads of goals and assists as well. But it's this idea that like I just don't necessarily agree is a no-brainer, but I'll probably start with him. I probably will. Akanji, Ake, Kushanov, Nunez. Nunez is obviously now a defender, 5.5. Ruben Dias, 5.5. Yeah, I don't think there'll be too much interest in Man City defenders outside of Aitner and Vardy to start. But we'll see. That Wirtz assist yesterday doesn't count last season, but this season it does, right? I've not seen it, to be honest. But there is a change to the assist rules. Marmouche, 8.5. Decent enough. Again, would I start with him? Probably not. Foden 8, we already did that. Savinho 7, Cherky 6.5. The problem is, Matt, I'm just going to ignore Man City players for the most part, unless there's injuries, because I just don't know who's going to start. Kushanov seems to have been banished. It is a bit weird, yeah. McAtee's only 5.5. He might move. Oscar Bob's 5.5 as well. And then Haaland's 14, which we already knew about. Is there any other players there? No, not really. Not any players we want to talk about. Man United, finally, we get onto the team everyone wants to know about. Anana, 5. Probably not going there. Delict, Martinez, Matsurawi, all 5. Dallo, Dorgu, here we go. Here we go. Finally, a pick I can get behind. Dorgu, 4.5. You bench him for Arsenal. You bench him for Fulham. You play him against Burnley. You bench him for City. You bench him for Chelsea. You maybe play him against Brentford and you play him against Sunderland. Job done. Job done. Hear me out. What do we think of Damsgaard? 10 assists last season. He plays CM mostly, so might get some defensive contributions too. Don't mind him at 6, yeah. Dorgu, yeah, now I'm interested. I wish it's a shame Man United don't. I think Man United's fixtures will mostly put me off. Yeah, Yora at 4.5 as well. I mean, Dorgu should be pretty much nailed. We have signed this guy, Diego Leon, who I think is also a left back, left wing back. I think Dorgu will pretty much be nailed. I mean, Luke Shaw won't be able to stay fit, so... Fernandes, 9 million. I did see a lot of people saying that his defensive contributions are huge. The thing is, if he's going to play deeper, that probably helps his defensive work, but lessens his attacking threat. I don't see me going there. 9 million. I'm gutted they've put him up in price, honestly. Cunha, 8. I'm not seeing it, really. I think he's fine. The minutes should be good. Rashford doesn't matter. He's gone to Barcelona. Ahmad's still a midfielder. Probably going to play wing-back mostly. Wirtz will be like in Kun. No. So, look. I know, again, let's just go back to Wirtz. He's obviously a player a lot of people want to talk about. Just because I'm saying he's not a no-brainer does not mean I think he's a bad pick. Like, this idea that he's like an unknown. And look, sometimes players struggle when they come to the Premier League, but I just don't see Wirtz being that player. I think he will start doing really well really quickly. Like, yeah, I'm not having that. I like the idea that he'll be like another Nkunku. I just don't see it. And we've been here before. I've said that about players before, and then they've ended up being bad. Maybe Wirtz is it, but I just don't see it. Garnacho 6.5. He could leave, and everyone else are probably not going for, right? Casemiro 5.5. Casemiro only 1 goal last year. Not great. Fernandes is a lot. He is on penalties, yeah, of course. The fixture's just not great to start the season, but someone record this and we can go back on it about Wirtz. Well, the stream's not going to go anywhere. You can come back to it later. Højlund 6.5. I mean, presumably he's going to play a good few minutes, but I'm hoping Man United sign a 9 and Xerxes there as well. They're just going to be avoids, aren't they? Let's be real. Newcastle, Pope 5. Lewis Hall 5.5. Damn. Livramento only 5. Presumably that's because Lewis Hall was either more attacking, 7 assists, or because he's better. Oh, yeah. Geez, Livramento only got 1 assist last year. If you'd asked me how many assists Livramento got, I don't think I would have said loads, but I would have definitely said more than 1. Yeah, Lewis Hall could be interesting. Yeah, I mean, he couldn't be 4.5 again. Fixtures are... One thing I'll say is it doesn't feel like any team has like an amazing run of fixtures. Like... where they've got like no bad teams in the first 4 or 5 games. It's not from teams we probably want to mostly target. So it's going to be quite interesting how we build our teams. I'm going to have, once the stream's done, I'm going to have a proper look at building a draft and stuff like that. Sorry, WhatsApp popping off. Gordon's 7.5 again. Elanga at 7. I think I've got zero interest in Elanga, to be honest. Barnes at 6.5. Jacob Murphy 6.5. Presumably Elanga will start instead of Murphy, but I don't know if it's a guarantee. Yeah, I think Elanga at 7 million just feels overpriced. Isak 10.5. We already knew that. If Isak goes, which I don't think he will, that could be interesting. Who they bring in. Sells 5. Milenkovic, Murillo 5.5. Honestly, Forest defence was fine for a lot of last year, but the defensive numbers did start to go down. I am not convinced. I will say that they have got pretty good fixtures to start the season. I know I've said that no team's got a decent run, but their fixtures outside of Arsenal away in 4 are pretty good. Brentford at home, Palace away, West Ham at home first 3. And then after Arsenal, it's Burnley, Sunderland. So that is quite good. Do I want to pay 5.5 for a Forest defender? This is the thing. And obviously, it will be difficult to get the extra funds. But Milenkovic for 5.5, or do I go and get a Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool defender for 0.5 more? I think it's difficult to pay 5.5 for a Forest defender, but we'll see. Gibbs White 7.5 could end up at Spurs. There was rumours going around today. Could be going to City. Let's see what happens. I suspect it'll end up at Spurs. Anderson 5.5 also did quite well on defensive contributions last year. And then Chris Wood 7.5. I feel like it's going to be too expensive, but I do like Forest fixtures. And obviously he is nailed and he's on penalties. So not a bad option. You aren't buying 5.5 million guys over Gabriel, Frimpong, etc. Yeah. That's my general feeling, to be honest. Even if the fixtures are slightly worse. Okay, let's get on to Spurs because everyone wants to talk about Kudus. Pedro Porro's 5.5. That's interesting. That is interesting. He actually got 6 assists last year, 2 goals. Here's something which I don't know is controversial or not. I don't know if Thomas Frank will get Spurs defending much better. No, how do I want to phrase this? I do think Spurs defense will improve. Let me start with that. But I think people talk about Thomas Frank as though he's a good defensive manager. Brentford's defensive numbers have never been that good. But obviously it's on paper, a weaker team. So, yeah, if Van der Ven and Romero could stay fit, we should see a defensive improvement. I quite like Porro. But I'm not as convinced as everyone else that Thomas Frank will have them, as this defensively solid team. We'll see. But I like Porro. Burnley at home to start. City away is tough, but then the fixtures after that are quite good, I think, for an attacking defender. So Porro's probably the first 5.5 I might genuinely be interested in. Van der Ven's only 4.5, and the Doggy's only 4.5 as well. Romero could be interesting if he's good for DEFCONs. Can't say that. Yeah, do you know what? It's hard to pick Porro when Van der Ven's only 4.5, isn't it? Yeah, Van der Ven could be interesting. But here's what happens, right? I guarantee you that most of you will do this, and I will do this as well. I'll build my first draft, and it will have 3 or 4 like Van der Ven's, Konzas at 4.5, and by the time I get to the deadline, I'll have more expensive defenders because they can just be quite consistent. But I'd be tempted by a Spurs defender for sure. Son's going to be a non-option. Kudus being cheaper than Johnson and Madison. Here's the thing, right? With Kudus, I said this last year. Kudus looks great when you watch him, and we can all agree he's a really good player. But his underlying numbers for like attacking threat and creativity are never that interesting. He scored 5 goals last year and 4 assists in 2,500 minutes. Yes, it was in a West Ham team. A lot of people have said that to me already. I mean, Jarrod Bowen plays for West Ham, and he doesn't seem to have a problem scoring goals and getting assists. So, again, I'm not going to say Kudus is a trap because I think 6.5 million is quite a nice price. But I will say this. I think his output, the output everyone seems to think he will get to, I think is overrated by a lot of people. Yeah, no stats on Romero, who's out for most of the season, but he's good for goals and set pieces. But we can probably go back and look at previous years, right? Next year, all FPL fans go to the awful hardstyle event, DEFCON 1 on a supercomputer. I don't know what that means, to be honest. Yeah, I think Kudus is nice. I don't think he's a no-brainer. But 6.5 is a good pick. I mean, Tell could be interesting at 6.5. We don't quite know how Thomas Frank's going to set Spurs up yet, right? I'm struggling to hold back my excitement for this season for Spurs. I've been burned so many times before. We'll see. Romero's good until he gets the most stupid red card. I think Romero getting red cards is a bit of a myth. He's had 2 red cards in 4 seasons, which I guess is not great, but it's not as many as you'd think. Solanke 7.5, I quite like that. Kudus is overrated, yes, but he might even be the worst because the whole Spurs team is kind of bad. I think Spurs will be better. Kudus usually played left wing in West Ham, which is not natural for him since he likes to attack more. Yeah, look, Kudus did get 8 goals, 9 assists the season before in similar minutes. But interestingly, his underlying numbers were even worse. I don't know. I think he's fine. I think a lot of people will have him. I think again, he's not a no-brainer, is what I would say. Like for an extra 0.5, could someone like Semenyo be better? Possibly. Even though Semenyo is super frustrating. Sunderland, I'm going to be honest, I don't know a huge amount about the newly promoted sides. That's something to decide. And also, the way the prices are, we're not going to have newly promoted players for the most part. Maybe if someone like Muniz goes to Leeds and he's nailed on, and he's on penalties at 5.5, could be an interesting thing. But 4.4, like, why would I go for a Sunderland defender when I can go and get Van de Ven or Konza for 4.5? It just doesn't make any sense. I like Solanke under Frank. He's good on the counter, and that's Frank's main foot. I like Solanke generally. He does tend to underperform XG, but he's a pretty good option, I would say. Adingra 5.5, like probably little interest, I would say, in like Sunderland or Burnley or probably Leeds. West Ham, Areola 4.5. How much is Wan-Bissaka? Probably 4. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka 4.5. 6 assists last year, 2 goals. Not a bad option, I would say. Like generally at that price, fixture wise, I haven't looked. Yeah, fixture wise, we're probably not starting with him. Paquetá is 6. Somerville 5.5. Probably not going for a West Ham midfielder. I wouldn't rule Bowen out at 8 million. Like 13 goals last year, 16 goals the year before. Like, we know he's a quality player. Like, he's pushing 200 points in a lot of his seasons that he's played. Obviously, he'll lose clean sheet points. He'll lose an extra point for the goal, but he'll gain a bit of bonus maybe. West Ham have signed Kyle Walker-Peters. That is correct, yeah. Do you think he's going to play ahead of Wan-Bissaka? Surely not. Wan-Bissaka was pretty good. Yeah, Fulkrug 6. If he plays more, he could be decent, but we'd have to wait and see. And then Wolves. Jose Sarr 4.5, Johnston 4.5. I mean, all their defenders are 4.5 or below. I did see some people talking about Gomez now being a defender could play attacking, but I don't know how good the minutes are. And then yeah, Hwang 6 million, Bellegarde 5.5. I think Strand Larsen's the one. 6.5 million could be an option. The fixtures to start aren't terrible. Walker-Peters left back could happen. Okay, let's try and put a team together. Bearing in mind I've not thought about captaincy or anything like that. I think I prefer Van Dijk to Kerkez right now. I think the best way to build a team often is start with cheapies and then go up. So like Kelleher is going to probably is there a better 4.5 goalkeeper? Let me just go to goalkeepers for a second. Kepa's obviously not going to play unless Thingy gets injured. Neto at Bournemouth maybe if he's. Oh, yeah, hang on. Have Bournemouth bought a new goalkeeper yet? So obviously they lost Kepa. Oh, it's Petrovic, isn't it, from Chelsea? Yeah, Petrovic maybe for Bournemouth. Areola, yeah. Bournemouth defence might not be the worst, you know. I'm actually going to put Petrovic in. Petrovic, right? I'm going to go for a cheap 4 million dud. Let's just put Green in. Why not? Cherky is cheap, but minutes, I just don't trust Man City at all. It's just, we go through this all the time, right? Man City's play is cheap. His minutes might not be great, but if he does play, his upside is there, blah, blah, blah. They don't play. It gets annoying. You have to use a transfer on them. It's just frustrating. Let's say Konza, and let's just put Van der Ven in for now. I'm going to put... I can see me going big on Bournemouth. I'm going to put Salah in and just see how easy it is to build a team with him. I also really like Palmer, and I quite like Chelsea defence. So I'm going to put Colwill in for now. I'm also going to bet on Beto starting the season, so 5.5. What other forwards are decent? Actually, what other midfielders do I want, first of all? I was going to put Bruno Fernandes in, but I can't troll you. I can't troll you. Vert Salah, 24.5 million for so about 6 million a piece. Everyone loves bloody Kudus, honestly. Kudus. I bet I don't start with Kudus. Yeah, habit straight for Bruno. What is? Let me just go to all players a second. Barco. Probably not going to go for that. He hasn't even been sold anyway. I do quite like West Ham's opening fixtures, to be honest. I think they're pretty decent. I'm not against going for Bowen up front. The thing is, I've got no big defenders here. I don't know. Okay. Midfielders. Let's just go a bit cheaper a second. 6 point. This is why I don't think Wirtz is a no-brainer, by the way. You know? Mitoma. I'm just going to put Kudus in. I think I have to go cheaper up front. I don't think I can go this cheap in defence. Aitner should be a no-brainer. I don't think he's a no-brainer, no. Wait, let me just go back to all players a sec. Liverpool's opening fixtures. It's just game weeks 2 and 3 are just pretty bad, I think, for clean sheets. After that, they're pretty decent. And a 4 million defender could just rotate a bit. New website is Mince, innit? I don't know if Mince is good or bad, to be honest. Dallo 4. Yeah, Dorgu. Dorgu should be in here. I don't think Salah's that cheap. Oh, you can't see the forward section of my... Oh, hang on a second. Let me just... Sorry. Like I said, I'm a little bit rusty with streaming. Yeah, there you go. Sorry. Yeah, Arsenal defence could be decent as well. So this is the thing. This is where you start... Now you start having to cheapen out elsewhere. So like Gabriel... Why can't you see his fixtures, by the way? That's so annoying. I can't click in... Oh, you can see it here. Hang on. So if I click Gabriel here on the team, I can't see his fixtures. Like other than you have to click full profile at the bottom. Why? That must be a mobile thing. That's a bit annoying, right? Oh, Njai. No, Njai's 6.5 though, isn't he? Maybe Bowen's just too expensive. Where are you, Danny Welbeck? Danny Welbeck. I don't know if the fixtures are good enough, but let's just put him in for now. 0.5 million. 0.5 million off. This is so dumb. What's so dumb? Barry ahead of Beto. I'm not sure he will be straight away, but eventually, probably. Let me just go back up. You know what? I'm going for Pedro Porro. No, I can't have a double up on. I can't have a double up. That's stupid. FPL ID. Click on transfer history. You can't see your bank balance now. Yeah, I can only have one or the other. Anyway, that's all the money spent. Boom. There we go. What a team. And that doesn't even fit on the bloody screen. Ugh. I'm going to have to figure this out. The Kuiper will definitely play all the time. You don't need 8 attackers. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, that's a good... Well, I guess better at 5.5 is somewhat of a dud. I've got to play him game week 1, though, haven't I? Who am I benching? My team's too good. My team is too good now. I don't even know who to bench. I've picked such a good team. I've got a benching headache in game week 1. Got Evan Nielsen on the bench. That's a beautiful team. I know Rice. I know Everton have played. Yeah, that's well, I can't bench boost Green. Can't bench boost Green. Bench Salah. Salah captain, obviously. Yeah, bench boost game week 1 will be interesting. I'll just get rid of Verts because he's overrated anyway, right? Get rid of Verts. Put a different. Put in. Yeah, but I don't want to bench boost Petrovic, do I? Imagine Amarin doesn't buy a striker and Cunha and Mbeumo become the forwards in a 3-5-2. Honestly, I think 3-5-2 is probably how to get the best out of Man United. But I don't know. Don't know if they'll do it. When am I making a league? Can you not just where's my old leagues? I'll figure it out. Don't worry. Well, I'll figure all that stuff out and I'll put out tweets and it'll be on all the videos and stuff when I get going. You want your creds if he signs for Arsenal? Maybe. I'm not convinced he definitely starts game week 1 for what it's worth, but yeah. I'll go to leagues, then renew. I'll do that later. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Yeah, there we go. Right, anything else you want to ask before I shoot off? Because we've been going for an hour, and I want to go and start building a proper draft. I'm not saying this is not a good one, but I'm actually pretty happy with that draft. As a first stab at it, without giving it too much thought, I don't hate it at all. I do not hate that draft whatsoever. I think it's pretty good. No Haaland, of course, but is what it is. Maybe the forwards are a bit too cheap. Will I have Bruno Fernandes? Possibly, yeah. You never know. You could say he's better than Verts. Not my words, someone else's words. Why does it say you're an Aston Villa fan? Because I wanted the lowest ID I could get, so I just quickly rushed through everything else. Why is the game not working? It's working for me. You have to spend time refreshing the league code to have a madness league code. It is the way. I'm not sure what that means either. Is Callum Hudson-Odoi an option? Feels like a bit meh of an option. Is Tarkowski good? Yes. Maybe. I don't know about 5.5 though. How did I get on with the one AirPod over the summer? I have used one AirPod sometimes, but only like when I'm sat on the sofa on my wife's there. I want to listen to like a voice note or something. Like if I was out, I would use 2 because I'm not a weirdo. Isak or Palmer? Probably Palmer, but definitely a choice to be had. Like straight away, I think when you make decisions like that, there's obviously a trade-off, right? If I sell Palmer and get Isak instead, then I'm selling one of my forwards to a midfielder. It might be that, you know, Isak and a 6.5 million midfielder is better than Palmer Welbeck, but I just quite like Palmer. What formation do I think will be template? Probably 3-4-3 or 3-5-2 as always. I'll say 3-5-2. What will I make my logo? Probably just my if I can, I'll just get it to make my logo. That seems to make the most sense, right? Bournemouth defence could be bad with all the sales. Yes, potentially. We'll have to see who they bring in and whether they lose any more players. Like, if not Petrovic, it's just Kelleher, right? I would say. Marmouche as a midfielder is quite nice. Yes, 8.5. Already 158k players. We're all loving it. Right, I'm going to shoot off. Thank you very much for watching me. If you did enjoy that, make sure to hit the like button. Hit subscribe as well. I'm trying to hit 500k this season, which is a big ask, but we'll see. And I'm going to go and work on my draft and stuff like that, and there'll be plenty of videos over the coming weeks or the next 25 days. That's all we have until the Game Week 1 deadline. So thanks for joining me, and I will catch you all again very soon. See you later.